Good morning to you, friends. Sunday, here we go. Last night I consulted the I-Ching, which I do from time to time. It's been a number of months that I haven't felt settled enough as we move from try to turn this house into somewhere, you know, which is something like a home. But slowly it's getting there. And so last night I sat in front of the fire and I consulted the I-Ching. I don't use it as a sort of a form of prophecy, fortune telling, telling the future. I know some people might, but that's not for me what it is. The I Ching, like the tarot, for me is a source of deep, deep ancient wisdom, which enables me to reflect on myself. Through that wisdom, I get to reflect on myself. You throw the coins, you get the reading, and then the reading contains wisdom, and you say, how does that wisdom apply to me? Because you throw coins, it's random, so you don't get to guide what's happening. You simply get introduced to some wisdom and you explore how that applies to you. For me, it's a very powerful process of reflection through ancient knowledge to get away from some of the noise of, the contemporary concern that we know everything. We don't. And the ancients and many indigenous people knew just as much, or perhaps far more than we do. Anyway, the thing about the I Ching, which I find endlessly fascinating, is its understanding. It embeds right within it the understanding that life is a process of change. Wherever you are, you will one day and perhaps soon be somewhere else. If you get a reading that says great strength, it says, yeah, you have great strength at the moment. Enjoy it, because you will go through a decline. If you get a reading that says abundance, it says you are in a time of abundance. Preserve your wealth, preserve what is coming to you, because you are heading towards a time of scarcity. Now, you could read that as going, oh my God, everything's going to go wrong. It doesn't mean that, I don't think. It's just a reflection of simple truth. Things don't remain the same. Things change. Wherever you are, things will change. And while you could go, oh my God, if you're in a time of abundance, it's all going to go wrong, you can equally read it that if you get a reading that says you're in a time of scarcity, then don't worry about it. From that scarcity will come a time of abundance. If you're in a time of weakness, don't worry. From that weakness will come a time of strength. If, and this for me is a true power in how, certainly for me as I consult the I Ching, if you adopt the right actions and the right attitude towards the process of change. Because it doesn't say if you're in a time of abundance, it's all going to go very wrong, tough. It says if you're in a time of abundance, you can do things to extend that time of abundance. You can do things to manage how that time of abundance ends and transforms into whatever is going to come next. You can influence the universe, but you cannot control the universe. You can guide your life, but you cannot control your life. If you're in a time of difficulty, a time that you're struggling and suffering, it will get better if you do the things to guide it towards getting better. If you don't, it will get better anyway, but you may not notice it because you're too busy immersed in your sadness and misery. So the I Ching, for me, talks about the dynamic interrelationship between that which we can't control, life, universe, fate, call it what you want, and that which we can control, which is our attitudes and our actions. One of the principles of presence, the 8 principles of presence, is pay attention to things you can do something about. You can do something about your attitude. You can do something about your actions. And you can learn to respond to the vagaries of life and the universe. Nothing is static. As Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, said, Everything changes, everything flows. Our job is to guide that flow and to have the resilience to respond to that flow when it takes us in unexpected directions. So whether you're on top of the world or deep in a valley of shadow, guide yourself as you go forward and know that in its own sweet time, the universe will change and you have the chance to change with it and to learn from that change. Have a really wonderful Sunday, my friends.